spit it up. Hop in my car and giddy up.
So the forward's gone round the goalkeeper. Open goal. Can't miss. Puts it into Rosette, the car park. Or it's an absolute terrible shot. The goalkeeper goes down, goes through his or her legs. They can rectify that quite easily by having scored a goal prior in the game or the next game, or making a fantastic world-class save. Now, what we do with the officials out there who we command respect for is we analyse that for weeks, days, months, and it sits with us. What's it like being that official? On today's show, Sport in Denver, I have a friend of mine, a work colleague, and an absolute gentleman, Esse Baharmast. Welcome to Sport in Denver, my friend, and thanks for joining us. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you so much, Richard, for having me on this show. It's always a pleasure to see you, working with you, alongside with you. We were just at the FC Denver Guadalajara Super League final together, and God knows every Sunday we're at Fort Logan. So it's wonderful to be on the field and off the field virtually together now. Thank
you very much for those kind words. Just go straight in. You've been handed, and rightly so, earned the Werner Fricker Builder Award, which is quite commendable. So I congratulate you on that essay, first and foremost. Would you like to explain what that award is?
Thank you so much. Yeah, the Werner Fricker Builder Award is the highest award that the U.S. soccer can bestow upon any individual, and that has had a great impact on the game in U.S. In the past, this award has been given to general secretaries, to former presidents, people who have had to do a lot with the growth of the game in this country. People like Hank Steinbrecher, who was the general secretary of U.S. Soccer and was instrumental in bringing the World Cup and the Women World Cup into this country. So the 94 World Cup, he was in charge, and also 99 World Cup, when our women won the World Cup in Los Angeles in front of almost 100,000 people. So Hank Steinbrecher, Sunil Gulati, Dr. Bob Conteguglia. So these are people who have been absolutely phenomenal in making sure that the game arrives where we are today. And for the first time, they decided to give it to a referee, and I was honored to receive this award, not only for myself, but on behalf of the 140,000 referees who go out there day in and day out, work matches, work the grassroots games. And this is for them, not for me. I am one of them. And so to be recognized, and for the U.S. soccer to give this award to a referee was phenomenal.
I know you're very humble. Esse, you're in extremely high company there with that award, and I know your work over the years, and I'm fortunate, and Colorado's fortunate to have you here. Very, very fortunate. Ladies and gentlemen out there, that, as I say, Esse is very humble, and it is very well deserved. I'm going to move straight on because we've got quite a few things to get through. What's it look like? You're the director of referees education. There's lots involved in that here in Colorado. What's it look like for you right now with that program, Esse?
We are working and trying to recruit as many people who have played the game, who have coached the game, who understand the game, because if you have played the game and coached the game, they already have a good understanding of what the game is like. And to tell them that, refereeing is another way that they can enrich and give back, or also improve and grow themselves. If they are very young, if they're at ages of 13, 40, they are doing refereeing, male or female. And they can be refereeing in Major League Soccer, they can be refereeing in FIFA World Cup. So the path to growth is just incredible. And those who say, no, I just want, I'm past my prime, I am, in my 30s and 40s and 50s, and they just want to give back to the game. We can bring those people and have them as referees, and they can be on the field of play and, enjoy the game, give back to the game, make sure that the games continue. I am so proud to say that, at the Colorado Soccer, in our office, our chief executive officer, Nate Schatz, our chief operating officer, Saeed Musabian, our director of refereeing, Mike Freitag, our communication officer, Javi Ariano, are all referees and also coaches and players. So we have some of the most experienced people with A license coaching license, also being referees. And that's the type of thing that I'd like to spread more in Colorado, to ask coaches and the players to also take the refereeing course. If nothing at all, it's going to make them better players and better coaches, because now they know the laws of the game a little bit better than before. And if they want to exercise, if they want to be on the field, they can give back.
I've seen a few of our staff referee, and they do a commendable job. And I think that's down to understanding the game, Esse, like, coaching, being involved in the game on that side of it, whether they've played at whatever level. So we're obviously encouraging here for those coaches to get involved and become a referee as well, and add that to their resume. What would you be saying to those parents? Because, mum, dad, aunties, uncles, take the kids to the game. And as we know, Esse, parents are involved on the sidelines in the game. Would you encourage them to do the same thing and get on that program?
Absolutely, because the parents are always refereeing from the sideline anyway. They are telling the referee, that's not offside, that's a penalty, that wasn't a yellow card, that should be a red card, right? They're refereeing from the sideline. You know what? The online course is free. Doesn't cost you 1 penny. Just go out there and do the online course. And the moment you think you can do better than that referee on the field of play, come and do the practical training part, and come and referee the game from the middle. You're in charge now. You can make the decisions. You can make a few dollars, and you can give back to the game. So make something that you think is a lemon, turn it into a lemonade, parents, please. I would love to have 2, 3, 4, 5 parents from each team become a referee and come out there and referee the games and give back to the game in that way, rather than being on the sideline and constantly nagging. I mean, the nagging is not going to do anything. No. If you don't like something, do something about it.
I think that's where I came in with the introduction. The striker misses the goal. We can forget about that, go on to the next game. But those decisions, and certainly with those, we have a responsibility, and enhance on this as well, to those young referees. Do we not, Esse, to help them evolve as well?
Absolutely. So imagine that the parent who has a kid out there, right, who's playing. That kid, if the coach constantly tells them, you're horrible, you're terrible, you're no good, you missed an open goal, you missed a penalty, you let the ball go in, anything of that nature, that kid's not going to want to go back to the next practice. That kid doesn't want to play anymore. Exact same thing with the referee who's a young referee. A 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, they're going to make mistakes. I guarantee it. I put it in writing. They're going to make a mistake. And we have to be supportive. We have to be supportive of that mistake and make sure that they learn. Not constantly tell them that you missed this, you missed that, you missed this. Imagine a kid who's trying to learn math, and maybe they are not so proficient at it. Every time they make a mistake, you criticize them, pretty soon they're going to hate math. But if they make a mistake and you take your time with them and let them grow and let them learn, they become fantastic mathematicians. So it's nothing different in our game. The kids that we're getting, I mean, it's incredible kids. I'm looking kids like, J.B. Belzer, Alex Martinez, Patricia McCracken. I mean, I can go on and on and on and bring in the names of young players, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids who really want to become good referees, and they have the opportunity. So we have to make sure that as coaches, If we have a problem with them, don't yell at them. As a parent, if you have a problem, don't yell at them. Write to us. Let me know this is the problem I had, and we have feedback form. You can always pick up the phone and let us know, and we'll be more than happy to take your feedback and pass it on to the referee so they can become better. So it should be a positive feedback. It should be a positive line of communication rather than right there and right then after a game when the referee is walking off the field of play, and now you come in and unload on them and give your frustration. And that's not going to do anything.
Let's not isolate the referee or the AR for that matter, because they're part of the game and we have to understand that. You said online, so everybody can go online through Colorado Soccer Association website and get onto the referee program and take a look at it. I recommend everybody does that. When they get out there on the fields, and I've seen you in action and the fun and enjoyment that everybody's getting out there, what does that session, that on-field session look like, Esse?
On-field session, so basically we take them through everything that they need to do, from inspection of the field, checking the nets, making sure the goals are secured, conducting the coin toss. How do you do a coin toss? Which team gets to decide? Blowing the whistle. The whistle is the voice of the referee. A hard foul needs a more intense whistle. A soft foul needs a more soft whistle. So those types of things. So before they even go to the first game, they get to practice blowing a whistle for a penalty, practice blowing a whistle for a ball out of bounds. Then we go through the positioning and movement on the field of play. Where do you need to be to get the best angle of view? What is the most important areas of the field? Really, penalty areas. So where by the penalty area do you need to be to see if a foul is on the right side of the penalty area or on the left side of the penalty area? What position should you be taking in order to be able to see it optimally? So those are the types of things that we go through, and it's about a 5-hour on the field training.
Right.
And at Fort Logan, we get out there and do it. And, it really gets the young referees the confidence that they need to get out there and start refereeing those matches.
And as they progress through those levels, they can let's get some referees in the World Cup. We've got one coming in 2026, hopefully a bit here to Denver. Let's get a referee out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we already and not only that, we already have a female referee from Colorado, Karen Apt.
Brilliant. Right?
And Karen Apt is doing matches. So those of you who came to watch U.S. national team before they went to France here in Dick's Sporting Goods, she did the match between Australia and the USA. And she's from Fort Collins. So she's one of our own, from our own Colorado, from our own state. And we have national... and national referees, Adam Zarin, and we have a lot of good young referees coming up. And this morning I was having a conversation with Marcelo Soto, one of our good referees, and he wants to pass this on to younger ones. And the idea of let's have an academy for the younger kids, so we can have feedback back and forth, and we can have videos that they can look at, and we get together on a weekly basis. So I have been lucky. I have been so lucky that this game has given me so much. When you look at behind and you see those medals, that's 33 World Cups, Olympics, tournaments. So four Olympics, 5 men World Cups, 3 women World Cups, and a whole bunch of under 17s, under 20s, Club World Cup, and things of that nature. And I want to make sure that every young referee, every young player who becomes a referee gets to enjoy, gets to experience the type of wonderful memories that I have received from being, from being involved with refereeing. So 2026, we are working to bring the World Cup into Denver. We're working hard, and what a fantastic thing to have one of our own referees do the opening match, opening match.
Maybe it could be Freitag out there, Just
Freitag, I think he needs to pass the fitness test first.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But Freitag, from the wealth of knowledge that he has, what he has done, from the coaching and the playing, the wealth of knowledge that he has, he's a fantastic referee. So maybe as a VAR, because now he doesn't have to run, so he can sit there and he can be the VAR and he can pass the information through.
Mike, if you listen to this, we'll me and Esse will have a cup of tea with you, social distance, of course, at some stage, and we'll go over that. Now, you've mentioned the World Cup. We're gonna move on to the World Cup, but I want to stay on the instruction side. You are a FIFA instructor, so what does that involve? Because obviously it escalates from the Beijing, your backyard, Colorado. What does a FIFA instructor look like? What's your role in there, mate?
So as a FIFA instructor, every FIFA tournament or every FIFA seminar that we bring in the referees, we have to be there to go through the practical training part and also the theory part. So we do a lot of videos that we show, and they have to take one look and immediately decide it's a penalty, it's not a penalty, it's offside, it's not offside, it's a yellow card, it's a red card, it's not a foul, things of that nature. So a lot of video tests. It's almost like a flight simulation. When you're in a flight simulator, you have to constantly practice things that could happen. So, and they don't know it's coming. In a flight simulator, as they're going, the instructor can turn off one engine or two engines, and the plane goes into that dive, and the pilot's supposed to take care of it. So this is what we do with the videos, make sure that they know immediately. So it becomes muscle memory. So we do a lot of that. And then we have practical training. So we go on the field of play and we have players. So we simulate exactly the type of things that could happen. So we have a counterattack where the referee falls behind, and we have a fall that could happen top of the penalty area or right on the penalty line or inside. And between the referee and the assistant referee, they're supposed to get the decision perfectly correct. And the more we do this, the more they practice it, because, like I said, it becomes muscle memory. And it's something we talked about Freitag. Fry does a great job. Every weekend he's watching the games and he makes notes. He makes notes of what happened in this game or that game or the other game. And Monday or Tuesday when we get together, he's like, okay, in this match, go to minute 72. And what do you think? Because this is my decision. And we go and take a look and we bring it back. Now we have the replay. We have all of that. And we can come up with a decision that is consistent based on guidelines that we can move forward. And it's incredible, this wonderful back and forth that we have, because the laws of the game are not so easy. Something like handball or offside, people think it's so easy, and it's not.
It's a thankless task that we have to take a step back, because I don't think a lot of people know the in-depth a referee from the junior level Esse right up to that high-end level being selected for a World Cup. The depth of it is I don't think we really know, do we, as us coaches, so much.
It's amazing, because when we bring these teams that come and help us out in this different tournaments, I told you that, we have 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, they come out there and they're the players and their coaches come with them. And we tell them, that we give them, it's like drills. We give them the plays that we're looking for. For example, the ball's going to go to the right. There's going to be a cross into the penalty area. Now we want the defender to come in and, grab the jersey of the attacker and pull him down. And let's see if the referee catches it. So we have all these different scenarios that we put up, and we have numbers: number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and then the players compromise. They improvise and do it at the same. Whether they're gonna do one or the other. And when they're finished, they come back and they say, "It is incredible. We never knew how much time and energy you guys put into this, and how critical you are of your own performances." Because we are so hard on ourselves, because we cannot afford to have a mistake. We cannot afford to do it. An attacker can miss 3 open net, right, and then end up putting 3 more in the back of the net, and he's got a hat trick. He's a hero of the game. Nobody's going to talk about the 3 open net miss. As a referee, if we have 3 misses, if we miss 3 penalties, we are dead. We are finished. That's the last game. So we cannot afford to have that type of mistake. So we are very hard on ourselves. We keep everybody to a very high standard, and the players and the coaches who see this with their own eyes and they're part of it, they cannot believe the amount of time and energy that we put into this.
you do it just as much as the players will be practicing, whether it be elite level, high end level, or just those 3 times a week, those practices that the players do. There's no difference. You did mention in those practices a little bit of shirt pulling, which brings me on to a topic a few years ago in a World Cup game that I'm not going to say any more. Let you explain on this essay on that huge incident that occurred. I want to say France '98, correct?
Correct.
Go ahead, essay, because it's a fantastic story.
So this is the match in the last round of the group matches,
Right?
And the game is between Brazil and Norway, and at the same time, Morocco and Scotland are playing at the same time. So 2 teams from the group will advance to the next round. Morocco is beating Scotland 3-0, so they're coasting through to go to the next round. If the score stays tie in the Brazil-Norway, which is a 1-1 game.
Okay.
So, and the game is 1-1 at this point. So at the 89th minute of the match, Morocco is coasting to the next round. 89th minute of the match, a ball is crossed into the penalty area, and immediately I turn my attention to the drop zone where the ball is going to come. Mm-hmm. And I see that the Brazilian defender, Junior Baiano, is grabbing the Norwegian attacker, Tor Andre Flo, by the back of the jersey and is pulling him. And the first thing that goes through my mind is, I can't believe he's doing this. This is crazy. 89th minute. So I just hesitate a half a second. Maybe an advantage would come through this. Maybe the ball would go to another Norwegian player who's going to put the ball in the back of the net, and I can give advantage and walk away free. No such thing. So I have to call the penalty. 89th minute. And everybody's looking at this picture now, and it's clear as daylight.
Yeah.
It's like, and even my friends who don't play soccer, they say even in football, in American football, this is a foul, right?
Right.
What was the problem? The problem was that 16 television cameras that were broadcasting this game, none had this angle. None of them. None of the 16 cameras. All they show is, a player going down, and it looks like a dive. It looks like a little bump. It looks like a small shirt pull. Nothing of this nature. And of course, the next morning, the newspapers and the media goes absolutely crazy. They call me everything from incompetent to a cheat to somebody who was bought for, throwing this game, somebody who didn't want a team from Africa to go through. You would name it. They wrote it in these papers.
I've read it.
Yep. And also the television. On television, they were broadcasters who were taking out a red card, showing the red card and saying this red card should be given to referees who come from countries who don't have football. Why do we bring an American referee? We should bring 2 referees from Germany, 2 referees from Spain, 2 referees from Italy, 2 referees from England, countries that have soccer, and then not have these type of incompetence. Thank God, and lucky for me, the Swedish television had a camera behind the goal that was broadcasting this game live back to Scandinavia, Sweden, other parts of the Scandinavia.
Right.
And in all of those countries, they saw this picture that you just saw. So for them, it was stone cold penalty. So the next morning, when they're reading the papers that, this referee is incompetent and a cheat and this and that, they don't understand what they're talking about. It's like, it doesn't compute. And then somebody figures it out. You know what? In the feed of international broadcast, nobody caught this video. Nobody caught this angle. So luckily, they put this on the internet, and 98 was the infancy of internet. It wasn't like today where everybody's walking around with a cell phone and, you can get anything.
Yep.
So luckily, my friends in the US were looking on the internet, trying to see if, there's another angle. And a friend of mine who lives in Ohio, Mark Carpenter, found it, sent it to my wife. And my wife, she saw it, and she called me 3 a.m. in Paris. And she said, we found this video and a picture. Take a look at this. Make sure it's from the right game. Make sure this is not something Photoshop, And I look at it and say, my God, there is a God. This is exactly what I saw. This is exactly what I saw from my angle, from the opposite side. And this has become an incredible thing. Anywhere I go in the world, this was chosen as one of the top 18 calls of any sport ever.
Yes,
Because
correct.
a referee who came in and was better than 16 television cameras, and the conviction and the courage to make this call in the 89th minute of the match against the world champions Brazil, and Norway won on this penalty. They won 2-1. They went to the next round, and Morocco was eliminated based on this, but the call was the call, and it was correct call. So for 36 hours, I was the GOAT. I was the worst. I was the most incompetent referee in the world. And after 36 hours, when this came out and they saw it, I went from the GOAT to GOAT, the greatest of all times, because I saw something that 16 television cameras couldn't see and pick up, and I had X-ray vision, and I was superhuman, and I should do the World Cup final and things of that nature. And really, the reality is that I am neither that nor the other one. I wasn't superhuman, and I was not the most incompetent. I was just a referee at the right place with the right angle of view, and I saw what I saw, and I called it. And that's what any referee does on any given day at the youth level, at the games that we do here in Colorado. And their angle of view is different than what the coach sees. It is different than what the parent sees. We tell the assistant referees, if you are 1 meter, 1 yard off the line from the second defender, you're going to miss the offside. And sometimes I see a parent from 60 meters away, from 60 yards away, screaming offside. And I'm like, wow, you have superpower. That is superpower. I mean, you have X-ray vision to be able to, from 60 yards, to be able to see who's offside and who's not offside. Because we know if you are 2 yards away, you're going to miss it. The angle of view is going to change.
Whether it's a World Cup, heated moment, 80,000 people, game on the line, decisions made, it's still applicable, correct me if I'm wrong, to a 7v7 under-9 game. You've got a 15-year-old developing referee out there. They're in their World Cup anyway. That's their World Cup, isn't it? Would you go down that, the same emotions there, Esse?
Absolutely. The kids who are playing the game, every match is their World Cup. And we are out there also making sure, first and foremost, that they're safe, that we protect their safety. And at the same time, it's our World Cup, because no referee ever wants to go off the field of play and have the vision of the replay of a call that they missed playing in front of their eyes over and over and over. I'm telling you, I've had missed calls. I've had games where I missed a call, and it's the worst feeling, because it's the quietest ride back home, And then when you go to sleep, you constantly play that video in a loop in your mind. Why did I miss it? What could I have done to make it, to be able to see it? And then you learn from those mistakes, and you say, you know what, if I would have been a little bit more to the right or a little bit more to the left, or if I had a better angle, I would have had it. I would have had the call. And you learn from those mistakes, and you become better people. You become better referees. So for 7v7, U11s, U14s, doesn't make a difference. That's their World Cup, and it's also our World Cup. So we learn and we enjoy those matches, and hopefully we don't make that many mistakes, but mistakes are part of the game. That is part and parcel of the game.
Just the same as a player. It's, a parent's going to miss a call on the sideline, right?
This was incredible. My daughter, she was playing for Colorado Ice, and we had a game in Colorado Springs. So we went down there to play, and I was just sitting, minding my own business. I just wanted to enjoy watching her play. And the referee comes in, is like, okay, I'm missing one AR. Can anybody from this side help out? And all the parents who knew who I was, they pointed to me and it's like, this guy, take him. Okay, so I take the flag, and I'm running the line, and the ball goes on the line, doesn't leave the field of play, still has a portion on the line, and goes back on the field. And I allow play, I don't put the flag up for throwing. And parents on the other side are going crazy. Balls out of bounds, balls out of bounds, which they're correct in every other sport, okay, in America. So if it's basketball, yes, you are correct, but not in soccer. The ball is still in play until it's completely gone. So finally, somebody from our team had to tell them, one of the parents, do you know who this guy is? And they're like, no. And they're like, okay, this guy was in the World Cup. And you can ask him at the halftime what the call is. So at the halftime, I'm conducting a seminar on the line. This ball is in play. This ball is in play. This ball is out of bounds. So this one is out. So we're having this conversation going on. So educating parents on the laws of the game when my daughter was playing. And I just didn't want to referee. I wanted to sit and enjoy watching her play. But, I was recruited to do a job.
So you've gone from the high intensity of the World Cup to just down in a local game, and there's the controversy again created by the parents, the crowd, and dealt with Esse accordingly. Commendable. My friend, I could sit here all day and talk to you, whether you want to talk with me, I don't know. And I know you do great things with Fry and the coach, the referee, relationships where Fry will watch a game and then he'll pick your brain. I think that's something that coaches and referees need to do to get together, whether they, just meet up on the odd occasion and talk the game, or even sit and watch a game. We ask all the players to do it, getting the coaches and the referee to get two sides of it. Esse, I've got my own hat trick. Thank you for joining us today. I cannot let you go without doing a quick fire 5, and I don't know if there's any viewers out there. I was going to allocate a question from a viewer, but I will go ahead and start with what I've got here. There we go, from Deborah Scholes, a stalwart coach and a regular follower. So do you feel refereeing makes, you could read it there, a better coach, seeing the game at, the different perspective? We've just touched on that.
Yeah, absolutely, Deborah. Thanks for that question. And I give you an example. Dr. Joseph Machnick, Joe Machnick, who you see on the Fox Sport. Joe Machnick was the goalkeeper coach for U.S. national team when we went to the World Cup in 1990 in Italy. Okay, so Dr. Joe was a former player, a coach, and then he became referee. And he also tells everyone that made me a better coach by refereeing. That made me know the nuances of the game. So I knew what I could get away with and what not get away with, what was correct and what was not correct. And a better feeling, how to approach a referee, how to have a conversation with the referee.
Yeah.
So the more he refereed, the easier it became for him and made him a better coach to continue and doing what he's doing. So Joe Machnick, I have a recruiting tape from him that we use when we go to, coaches and players. And I've done this with a lot of clubs. I mean, we have wonderful, wonderful friends in all the clubs, really all the clubs. If I have to name, I got to start naming. Pride in Colorado Springs here with David Kramer. I mean, we go out there and we recruit. These are fantastic coaches and players who become referees and they give back to the game. Alexi Lolas was a referee when he started 14, 15, and he's doing some matches now just to keep him sharp with the changes in the laws of the game, because the laws constantly change. Yeah. So if you don't know, if you're not refereeing, then you are one step behind.
We're all in it together, really, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're all in it together. Deborah, thank you for that question. Second question. If you could referee, roll back the years a little bit, get the boots on, Esse. If you could pick a game today, two teams, and any level, doesn't matter where, if you could go in and officiate one game right now, what would it be? Which one?
The games that I'm doing right now every Saturday or Sunday, the kids game. That is the pure joy. That's the pure soccer at its most innocent, level. Because I could say international games, I can talk about, big players who go out there and, simulate and dive and, overreact to a fall and things of that nature. And for me, yeah, I've done that. I've done that part. I've dealt with those guys. but the pure game is the grassroots game. I love it. When I go out here, Rooney is not too far from my home, 5 minutes drive, and I tell Deanna Duncan Allen, which God bless her, she's up for sainthood with all the assignments that she's doing. Deanna, whenever you need a hole that needs to be covered, let me know, and I'll be there in the 10 minutes advance notice time. And we go out there and do it. And Saeed's doing these games. And Neil Fawcett, our SRA, is doing these games. We're out there. For me, the grassroots, the game, any day, anytime, to the day that I go out there with my walker. And also, now it's a little bit more my speed as well.
Okay.
Game. Yeah. So the game at the highest level, you got to be fit. But I love the grassroots game. For me, is fantastic.
It's. I think that answers Dave Johnson Rayner's question that came up. Our good friends in the UK with Curry Sports CIC. You've gone back to your roots, pretty much. Esse. It's just a full cycle. That is fantastic. That you could have picked anywhere in the world. That's a great one. My third question, my friend. What football team do you support, mate?
Any team that really plays beautiful game, because for me, football is poetry in motion. So when Barcelona was playing the tic-tac, the beautiful game, that was the game. So I enjoy the game. I don't have really, people who are born and die with a team. So, for example, Atletico Madrid, if you're a fan of Atletico Madrid, you don't care about Real Madrid, never ever, and that's your team from the day you are born to the day you die. Irrespective of results, whether they go down a level or they come up a level or they're playing in Champions League. For me, I enjoy the beautiful game. So any team that really plays the attractive, attacking, edge of your seat game, that is my team. I enjoy it, and it changes from 1 year to another to another to another. I enjoy watching a beautiful game of soccer. Could have been Brazil's in the Brazil of the 70s, Brazil of the 70s, and continue and come on up, all the way to Barcelona of the 7-8 years ago, when Pep was out there. It was just really poetry in motion, but the game constantly changes. So that team at one point was the favorite team, and then you move on, and it becomes a different team.
I love it. I love the approach on that one. I always ask a food question, my friend, and Iranian hereditary, beautiful country. I know it's beautiful cuisine. So what would you recommend for anybody out there? One of your dishes from Iranian cuisine, my friend.
Well,
brilliant.
Well, you have the picture right there. It's a kebab, and kebab is different meats that are seasoned, that they have been marinated, and you can have chicken, you can have beef, you can have ground beef, you can have lamb, and that comes with the rice. And we have, I think, turned everybody in the office also in the office into lovers of Persian food, Iranian food. So Nate every once in a while says we should go for some kebab, even Freitag, which is mostly burger and pizza guy. He has enjoyed the kebab that I took for him, and it's like, this is not bad. So it's like music. Give it a try. Different type of music, you will enjoy it. So food for me is the music for your soul.
Bit of coaching, bit of refereeing, bit of burgers and pizza, bit of nice Persian food. You can't beat it. Make sure Nate or Fry gets their checkbook out, and they can pay with their credit card. There. My last question, my friend. Did you have any superstitions when you're in there in the changing rooms and you're going out? You get yourself in the tunnel. Was there anything, a ritual you did, or anything along those lines as you set pattern, Esse?
That's amazing you say that. A lot of referees that I worked with, they had those. So, for example, we had Toros Kibrichian, FIFA referee. If somebody was chewing gum in the locker room, he would say, that's bad luck. That's going to... So I learned not to have any type of thing that would, throw me off of my game. Because if I had that superstition, and, for example, white sock or red undershirt or something like that, if that was misplaced, then it would completely throw me off of my game, and I couldn't afford to do that. So, and a lot of times back then, people would be coming in and out of the locker room. So my only thing was that I would say, let me find a corner. Back then, we didn't have the iPods and the earphones and things like that. So I would find a corner, and for about 5 minutes, I would just close my eyes, go into my zone, concentrate, and say, Esse, these two teams did not come from Mars or another planet. You have seen them before at the highest level. Pressure is not on you. Pressure should be on them, because they're the ones who have to win to go to the next round. For you, a foul is a foul is a foul. A penalty is a penalty. And hopefully the video will back you up tomorrow. You have the right angle and you show it. So there is no pressure. So for me, my not really superstition, but my go-to was 5 minutes of sit down, go into zone, concentrate, and just wipe everything out, wipe all the pressures out, and go out there and enjoy the match. And by walking through that tunnel with a little bit of a smile and being ready and a little bit of self-confidence, you also put the players at ease. The players also
Brilliant.
get that, and they come down a little bit.
Focused, relaxed, enjoyment.
Absolutely.
Once again, hat trick. Thank you. I've just got to mention that on next week's show, we're going to have, and you're familiar with the Pied Piper of coaching, the leader of the Real Colorado Edge. On the show, we're going to have Ryan Henkel, who we always run into. Fabulous character, and again, a gentleman. Esse, thank you very much. Would you like to leave our listeners, our followers, with one final message from your good self? Cheers, mate.
Thank you so much to all of you. Kindness, pass it on. Kindness and respect, pass it on. When you're on the sideline, when you're coaching, do it with kindness and respect. When you're dealing with a referee, kindness and respect. That's the foundation of a civil society. That's the foundation of being a community. That's the foundation of being a family. And we are soccer family in this wonderful state, in this beautiful state. Let's go out there. Remember, this game is for the kids. And I'm saying this to all the parents, to all the coaches, to all the referees. The game is all about the kids. Let's make sure they enjoy, they stay safe, and they have a fun time doing this, and they keep coming back.